Whoa, we back, man. We're gonna have Blizzy Blake up in the house in just a second. Some crazy games. Cranston West playing good football. Cranston West really put Bishop Hendricken in a scare. Um, Westerly beats. That's crazy. Westerly beats Central. Central falls to Westerly. What a game that was. 21-20. Outstanding game. What's going on, everybody? We're gonna have Blizzy Blake up in there. Blake Simpson, you guy over there at Pilgrim High School. We had Coach Pennington on earlier. I was at the Westerly Central game tonight. What a good game! I'm actually trying to upload some of the film while we wait for Blake. I think I already sent him an invite. Give me 1 second. Yeah, man, that was a great game that Westerly. Another game that I heard about: LaSalle beating North Kingstown 22-7. Dean over there throwing for 300 yards, multiple touchdowns. Congratulations to my guy Dean over there. By far the best quarterback in high school football right now. He's committed to a D1 program, playing good football. 300 yards. I think it was 22-7. Good game. SK gets the win. A lot of people sleeping on SK. People still sleeping on SK. I think it's crazy that you would sleep on SK. But we'll be right back. We're going to get Coach Blake up in here. I'm going to send him a link. Give me 1 second to get this situated. Here we go.
Fight better field position after the kickoff. You gotta do, you do it.
You don't even have.
Stick on the play.
Multiple flags on the flag.
Does it say another word?
Yeah, he came down the foot.
Another Paul Harden.
Take a kid from Shay and
Made a shower, in the pocket, only for the Jeep.
Here we are. We back. We're waiting for Blake Simpson to come on. Wes Pennington was on earlier. What's that noise? Do you hear some shit? What's that? Oh, I know what that is. Hold on. Hold up. There we go. My bad. So NK loses to LaSalle. So it looks like LaSalle basically, is definitely the real deal, playing good football. Central playing a tough game. Central by far playing a real tough game for sure. You can also check my Twitter page. Also, we're waiting for Coach Dunbar to come on. We're waiting for Coach Blake Simpson to come on. I'm driving, so I can't. All the other schools gotta listen to you, so I can see what else happened. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Great football games tonight. Great football games tonight, that's for sure. Still waiting to get Blake Simpson on. I'm pulling up some scores right now. Just bear with me. You know, late night I was out at the game, the Westerly game. Phenomenal game. Yo, phenomenal game on both sides of the ball. Both sides of the ball. Phenomenal game. You know, Central played good football. South Kingstown beating Barrington 35-26. How about Mount Pleasant over East Providence? Like, unbelievable the way East Providence is playing. I hope East Providence figures it out fast. You know, North Kingstown, Eddie Buehler couldn't really get it done with LaSalle tonight. My guy Zion over there, Central, definitely the real deal. Zion playing incredibly good football. Rogers and West Warwick. West Warwick ends up pulling that one out. What a good game that was. You could check out the other show with Coach Pennington. Give me 1 second. Hold on, Coach. One second. My bad. I had to take that call. That was Coach Dunbar. He's waiting for a link now. So let me get him a link. Bear with me while we get Coach Dunbar up on here. You know, 1 minute. It's tough when I go to football games. You know, I get all crazy on. Let me know what other scores you guys have out there. I'm gonna get Coach Dunbar up in here. I'm gonna get Coach Blake Simpson. I think I sent them both a link, but we're gonna do it again. Let me go over here. Invite guest. There we go. I just sent it to Coach Dunbar. You know, we'll get Coach Stan. Yo, that game was hype, man. That was a good friggin' game. I was over there on the central sideline next to my boy Bernard Parson, man. I got to get away from him, man. He said, "Yo, what happened?" I said, "Yo, you crying too much." I was like, "You crying? You over here crying, Bernard?" Nah, shout out to Bernard Parson. That's my guy. He always keeps it real. Ever since I known him, he said I'm his only white friend. He said, "Shout out to him, man. That's my guy." Shout out to Bernard, but we're gonna get Coach Dunbar. We ain't even gonna waste no time. Look at you got the staff with him. Look at Jordan, Danny Moran.
Say what up,
Stop.
Best staff in the state right here, man.
Yo, you guys did it, man. What's up? Yo, give this staff a round of applause for real.
Best staff in the state, man.
Yo, congrats. That was a good game. As I was leaving, you guys scored that final touchdown, but let's bring it back to the beginning of the game. Talk about it, Stanley.
At the end of the day, man, the mentality going in is we ain't afraid of nobody. I know everybody on the outside was saying Central's gonna win. Central's better than us. We don't really stand a chance. Just overlooking us. So the message was, you know, we know what we have from a talent standpoint. We know what type of coaches we have. we believed we was gonna win the game. Like we never doubted. It's not luck. You know what I mean? It's no doubt here. We thought we were gonna win. We thought we had a great game plan. And really it was just convincing the players. But we us coaches was definitely confident.
My boy Najee earlier, I said, "Are you gonna win?" He said, "Hell yeah, we're gonna win." He had no doubt in his mind.
And
He
you
said,
probably thought he was just talking. Like y'all probably thought he was just talking when he said that.
"Yo, I talked to you earlier, and I said, you know what, based on the talent," and you was like, "Yeah, they are D1. You know, it is what it is. They are a good team."
You know what it is? My mentality was, listen, I'm the type of guy behind the scenes. I'm a play the humble. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the confidence, the belief in my staff, the belief in my team, that was never doubted at all. You know what I'm saying?
How long of a bus ride is that home for Mike Washington and Central?
I don't know, but at the end of the day, Mike's my man.
Hell yeah,
I
Mike's
got
my guy.
Nothing but respect for him and his coaching staff. Westerly's a tough place to play, man. It's not easy getting dubs over here. And from a coaching staff standpoint, we made adjustments from those first couple games. We got guys in the right spots. So we look forward to being competitive in our division going forward.
Check it out. People on Central Sideline, they said, "I can't believe how loud this place is." And I said, "Have you never been to a stadium this loud?" And they said, "Hell no."
It's different in Westerly, man. It's different. When you play at Salon Jerry Field, it's different. There's no environment like this in the entire state. It's the best home field advantage in the state of Rhode Island. We went to Portsmouth on the road and we got to see it. What other teams have to offer. We played at NK. We played at all these places. There is no place like Westerly. If you've never been to a game at Westerly High School on a Friday night, I don't care if you got family at Westerly. If you know anybody on Westerly football team, you got to come out and experience it. It's the best home field advantage in the state.
No, that's a fact. Congratulations, Stanley. I'm gonna let you get on with your guys. I see Jordan over there. I see Danny. I see Najee.
Everybody's out here.
Everybody's
Ronnie,
there. There's my guy Ronnie. Look at that.
The whole staff out here, man.
Ronnie just doing it. You know.
Big dubs. Big dubs.
Your Cranston West gave Bishop Hendrick in a hard time today.
All we gotta say, man. All we gotta say though is we want everybody to keep that same energy they had before the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Keep that same energy.
Keep that same energy. Mount Pleasant gave a thrashing on East Providence, 40-8.
They beat them?
They beat them 40-8. SK over Barrington.
Mount Pleasant beat East Providence 40-8. What? Yeah, that's crazy. It's the craziest division. Mount Pleasant beat East Providence 40-8.
SK over Barrington 35-26.
So I guess we gotta give the Coaches Association some credit because I think this is probably the most competitive football we've seen. It's not that bad that realignment is producing good football. So
no, the realignment's still ass. I mean, there's some great football things. 14 Division I, you can't say nothing about it, you know. But there is some great football. Like salute to that. I will say that. Like even West Warwick Rogers game, great game, 12-14. You know,
who won?
West Warwick, they're undefeated right now.
So how my old Okers do against Lincoln?
Last I heard, I don't think they were doing too good. I'm waiting to talk to Gary. And LaSalle dog walked North Kingstown. Dean scored 3 touchdowns, 300 yards, 22-7.
Gotcha.
You know, but guys, thank you. Have a good one.
You too, man. Enjoy your night.
Appreciate it. Good day.
Go Dogs.
Hell yeah, shit. I'm trying to get Mike up on here. I don't think he's gonna say. I don't see the link. Salute to Mike, though. Mike's my guy. They got a great staff over there at Central.
Go Dogs. Best O-line coach in the state right there.
Oh, hey. Coventry lost 21-14. Yo, there he is.
You want to be coached by the best?
Stanley, listen to this. I got a video of this. All the young kids, all the young guys, when Najee comes walking out, they all come running up to him, surrounded him like he was, you know, I'm going to put that video out there. So, salute to your whole staff.
Yes, sir. Have a good night.
All right. There we go. Coach Dunbar, Bulldogs. staff celebrating. They celebrating tonight. They celebrating. Blake Simpson, I just sent you the link. You should have it already. Let me see. Let me send this link out again. Yo, so salute, some great games. 21-14, not positive of the score. Coventry loses 3 in a row. Here we go. We're going to get Blizzy Blake up on here. Coach Dunbar was just on with his whole staff, Blake, celebrating a victory over Central.
What?
A victory over Central.
We love to hear it for Stanley and the Bulldogs.
21-20. End of the game. The Bulldogs, it's 14. It's 13. They're down by like 8. They throw a touchdown, 2-point conversion to win the game. Like, what a great game. Salute to Mike Washington and his staff, though, because what a good staff they have over there.
I hope that game was broadcasted somewhere. I'd love to watch it.
Yeah, Westerly Live has that. So I think you can go to like westerlylive.com and you should be able to see that game. Yeah, that was a dogfight. Zion, it was nice to see some of the Central kids up close. Very good game. Very, very back and forth. It wasn't one of them, it was a good competitive game,
it's good. It's good because hopefully they both got out of there injury free because it's a non-league. So
absolutely.
They're both competing for playoffs and whatnot in their own division. So
I tell you what, them Central kids hit hard.
Oh, I bet.
They hit hard. So Blake, I haven't had a chance to see any of the highlights from your game. Let us know what happened.
We went into the half up 18-13 and just kind of shot ourselves in the foot second half, and we eventually lost to Narragansett 34-18. We're moving the ball well on the grounds. We get into the red zone, just have penalties that piled up and just put us in behind the chains, and that really hurt us.
It seems, that's how you get hurt. The week before was it the West Warwick game? It seemed they scored their points the end of the third and the end of the second and the beginning of the third, and then it just gets away from you. How do you move forward to fix this?
We're still going to prepare. We're still going to prepare every week for the game. We're going to hold the kids accountable during practice. I think we took a step in the right direction this week, being able to run the.
You got muted, Blake. Your microphone. You got to hit the mute. There you go. You was muted.
Myself. Yeah,
you was on a roll, huh?
I was on a roll. I was just like our run game tonight, but like I was saying, no one could hear me. But our run game was working great. We get into the red zone and just not be able to break the plane and get in the end zone for some points. We had a questionable call in the late in the third quarter where one of our receivers got pressed out of bounds. He worked his way back in bounds, caught a ball, and scored. But they said that he didn't establish himself right away. Emerson was there; he saw it.
And I just brought Emerson in on the conversation. He just jumped in here.
I said before, like, do we win the game if the call is reversed and we get the touchdown there? I don't know, but it definitely took the air from underneath us and gave the ball right back to Narragansett. So,
Emerson, what do you got to say about your Pilgrim football team right now?
Honestly, I talked to some of the players that I know that have been in my gym, a couple of parents, and I honestly talked to Blake and some of the coaching staff there. Unfortunately, things like this happen. I actually talk, and again, everyone knows how I do with officiating, that I'll never question or get on a official's call because I don't want that to happen to me. But I did ask what happened, and he basically said that what Blake said was true. He was pushed out of bounds, but according to that official that I talked to, he stayed out of bounds, which makes him ineligible. So that's basically what happened according to the referee there. But honestly, I'm honestly really not that concerned. I mean, this stuff happens in the game of football. Like Blake said, they're going to come back next week. They're going to prepare for their next game. I believe it's Rodgers, and they're going to do their thing. It's this is just how this game is. Unfortunately, it doesn't always go your way, and you got to come back the next week and just be ready to go. And I know that's what Blake does for Pilgrim, so that's what I'm anticipating. And many of us who are alumni there anticipate that as well. So it was a tough loss, and this you learn what you can from it and move on to the next week.
Absolutely. Blake, any last words?
Appreciate you for giving us a platform, all us coaches, and continue doing your thing, Mikey.
Absolutely. Salute
Thank you for
to
having
you,
me on.
Blake. You the man. Thank you, Blake. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Yeah, Blake.
Emerson, how are we doing, my guy?
I'm doing well, my friend. How are you?
Oh, it's a nice night. I get to see Central Knights Westerly battle it out. Westerly wins by 1.
Wow, no kidding.
21, and they won, and on the one of the last plays of the game. What a great game! Salute to Central Knights. Salute to Mike Washington. Everything he has going on down there. What a great game. Them kids at Central hit hard.
I knew, and I had said this at the beginning of the year, that there are definitely going to be some battles, and I had a pretty good feeling that Westerly and Central was going to be one of them. Shout out to both of them coaches. Running them programs and really getting it done there. That was probably one that was definitely a classic one there. There's really 2 great coaching staffs and really 2 great head coaches. And, again, like I said with Blake, this how football is. There's going to be one winner and one loser. And, Wesley pulled it out. I'm very happy for, Coach Dunbar there, getting that done. And, and I know them boys from Central played hard. I know that as a fact. Again, I had opportunity to officiate them in their the injury fund, and they were just bringing it. So, but hard fought game. Again, shout out to both coaches and both programs, and congratulations, Coach Dunbar.
I was torn down the middle, being a Providence kid, so I did have I had my Central shorts on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I did have the Westerly shirt on, and I had a breakthrough hat.
There you go.
And I had to bust out the shell top Adidas.
Of course.
You know what I mean? I had to bust out the shell top Adidas, but
shell top Adidas.
But I did have my Central. I had my Central shorts on. I gotta say, what a game that was. I think I got some great footage.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna try to get it uploaded. There was some 3 and outs, 4 and outs. Oh my goodness, man! I'll tell you what Central needs to do, and I've been kind of talking my crap about Central today, especially since they lost. Coach Dunbar came on the beginning of the show. He had his whole staff there. Salute to them. Coach Najee Barrows, salute to him. I talked to him. I was like, "Are you gonna beat him?" He was like, "Hell yeah!" He had so much confidence. And he was like, "What'd I tell you? What'd I tell you?" You know what I mean? But what a great game that was. That was a dog fight. And it don't take nothing away from Central. If anything, I think it speaks volumes of Westerly.
Right, and I'll just say this. I mean, those types of games is what you coach and play for. Like you don't really coach and play for the blowouts and 2 touchdowns and stuff like that. Like you really coach this game for winning the game 7 points and less. that's when coaching and just grit comes into play here, and that's really what, from what you're telling me, that game was about. I mean, those are the games. I mean, them closer games are really the ones you remember when you get older. When you're sitting there talking with the guys you played with, like, man, you remember that game, how close it was, and how much we had to fight and push, and these guys, regardless of what happens in either division, these types of games are really what those kids are going to remember for years to come. So, and again, it's just a battle of two great coaches and two great coaching staffs, and really good, tough kids, and that's really what football is about. Those types of games. So, again, shout out to both of them. Battling out there, and
that brings me back to That brings me back to 2018, 2019. I think it was Moses Brown and Westerly. You had spread. They were going spread against single wing. And it went blow for blow, blow for blow. And then they met again in the playoffs, and the same thing, blow for blow. When I talked to Willie Edwards about it, and he said, yes, that was one of the great games that he'll always remember. And them are the games that you are talking about.
Absolutely. I mean, I always, when I was coaching, I was involved with a football organization in coaching. I'll put it that way, because I still coach now. But when I was at that, like, those are the games that, okay, we gotta, we as a coaching staff got to step our game up. The kids got to step their game up. It's like that sense, that sense of importance, the sense of urgency to really try to get things going, is really stepped up there. And, and that's what I'm saying. That's exactly the way you're describing this game here. And, those are the ones you just love. You're really in the game for games like that.
And I really got to say, some people might say otherwise. I got to do what Stanley Dunbar did last week. I got to shout out, well, at least the official that I seen on my side when I was on Central, and the other officials that I seen, I think they did a decent job. I mean, they're not going to get every call right, but I really have to give a shout out to the officials. As much as I say much negative shit about them, I really have to I have to give them praise. The officials that I seen at Central, and one of them was a young kid, that was towards the end zone. He was young and he was doing his thing, even with people in the area. He wasn't being overzealous. He wasn't being a jerk about it, kind of like he was being very respectful. So salute to the officials, Emerson.
No, honestly, so, on behalf of all the officials, I thank you for that, because honestly, it is a thankless job. Like, there's, it's always tough when, you hate for your call to make or break a game, but you got to call what you see. And, I know it's tough. And like, I know, like, for example, the game I was at, and again, I was there as a spectator, not as an official. But the make those type of calls and know that, okay, yes, those calls can make or break a game. Like I just said, it is tough, but it's always good to hear that, it was a good game. And again, it goes both ways. Obviously, one team's going to love your call, another team's going to hate your call. But at the end of the day, I mean, the officials are really trying to do the best we can. And, again, we are not perfect. I'll be the first one to admit that. We are not perfect, but, we do the best we can. And, we do the best not to affect the outcome. But again, we call what we see. So
Emerson, stand by. My producer's telling me that, my guy, Gary Goodhart, is in the building. What's up, Gary? How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
All right. I was getting some scores earlier. I seen that you was behind. What was the final?
14-7.
14-7 you, or?
No, Lincoln won.
Oh, Lincoln. How is Lincoln? They seem to be a very, very good team up to this point.
They got a lot of kids. They got some talented kids, and they run their wing tee to almost perfection. They do a great job with their waggle, and they got a trap play where their fullback hits the hole real quick, and they do a really good job tonight we played really well defensively. Coach Gervasini had a really good defensive scheme, and we just couldn't close out the game. We're still a little dinged up. We got some guys that are still dealing with some injuries, and hopefully we'll get some guys back here in the next week or two, and got to move on to next week, and hopefully we can play better.
And I'm sure you have a great coaching staff, and I'm sure you guys are gonna do just that. How do you fix this situation to being in the whole 3 games right now inside your division?
It's people, I think initially at the beginning of the year, they're kind of down on Division 3, and it's a talented from top to bottom. There's good talent on every single team, and this is the tough 3-game stretch we're going to have from Chariho, Middletown, and Lincoln, and it's been a tough last 3 games, and not going to really get any easier, and just got to try to keep battling, just got to keep on coaching, and hopefully by the next couple weeks we can play good enough to sneak into the playoffs, and then when everybody gets in the playoffs, or everybody who gets in the playoffs, the record doesn't really much matter. It's 0-0 at that point. So we just gotta, we got to get healthy. Our team's got to get a little healthy, and then we just gotta keep playing football and move on to the next play.
We got Emerson Kilgore, 401 Strength and Fitness line coach. So let's talk about your line a little bit. How is your line coming together? How are they? Coach Gervasini I think he's one of the better in the game at that position.
Yeah, we're a mixture of good sized kids and medium sized kids, and we got some decent speed on the line and some really good strength, and we're still mixing and matching parts. Like I said, we got some kids that are dealing with some issues here and there, and we're not at full strength, and we haven't really been at full strength even through the preseason. We lost one of our better players to a dislocated elbow in a preseason game, and we've been kind of playing musical players since then. But as far as our offensive line goes, they're doing pretty well. It's just we're playing good teams. There's good talented teams everywhere, and they played really well today. We moved the ball pretty well. We just couldn't execute when we got in the red zone, and it's it's not on the offensive line. They did their job. We just made some mistakes, and we paid for it in the end.
Emerson, you have anything for Coach Goodhart?
Sure, Coach. I hope everything's all well with you here. I know it was a tough loss. I actually had the opportunity to officiate Lincoln versus Tolman, and I know exactly what you're talking about with the trap play. They do hit that really hard, and they're overall fundamentally a good team. You played them very hard, obviously by the score there, and just came up a little short. So you really have nothing to be ashamed about. I think that when 2 good teams play again, you're going to battle, and one's going to get a little bit of one's going to get a little bit ahead of the other. So, but it doesn't take away from what you've done so far this year and what you're going to continue to do. So just keep plugging and, keep working and getting things done.
I appreciate that very much. Yeah, no, they're a good coach team. They got a lot of talent, and for my guys, especially, we're on a 3-game skid right now. They played really well. Our guys. Lincoln's been putting up. I think the lowest score they've had all year was 33 or 36. They've been putting up 30 plus 40 every week, and we played really good with them. We didn't score enough points, and we let too many in, and they got some running backs that they hit the hole hard, and their quarterback, he did a really good job at managing the game, making the right reads on the waggle pass, and he hit 4 or 5 different receivers in crucial times throughout the game, and they end up moving the ball, and they're pretty good size. Their line, they're not small. They're not
right.
Small. And they got really good numbers. I'm willing to guess they got 65 to 75 kids. They came with like 3 or 4 buses. I was like, holy heck. But
yeah,
it was a good game. I'm sure for some, it was probably one of those, it was a hard hitting game. Our kids are ready to play, and their kids are ready to play. And it was just, it was a battle. And it was a moral victory for us, I think, because that's a good team. I think that for the 3A side, that's the team right there. They're good. They're coached well, and they play hard. They got good running backs, and Coach Kavanaugh, he's got his team ready to go.
Well, Coach, don't beat yourself up too much. I know you take a lot of you take a lot of the blame when you lose, and you give your staff all the praise when
Well,
you win.
somebody's got to do it.
Listen to
I'm not as upset as I usually am. Usually, I'm in a funk for a couple days, but I'm after how hard we played. And especially with the guys we got out. We got 4 starters out, so it's been tough trying to get other kids ready to play. We already got thin numbers, but it was a moral victory in my eyes that we played that way against that team. So
I got some scores for you. Westerly beats Central.
oh damn.
Everybody's saying that 21-20. They beat it in the end. Of Lance Williams throwing a nice piece, and then going for the 2-point conversion for the win. Mount Pleasant beats East Providence 40-8.
Gee.
Yes, big win for Mount Pleasant. SK over Barrington. People still keep picking against SK, and they're 4-1 right now. They're ahead of the division. West Warwick beats Rogers by 2, 14-12, I believe it says here.
Yeah.
LaSalle, my man Dean, the best quarterback in the state right now, put up 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, 22-9 victory. LaSalle over NK.
Wow.
We also talked to Blake Simpson earlier. I think it was 34-18. Narragansett beats Pilgrim. And I just seen North Smithfield lost to Tolman.
Do you know what the final was of that one?
Yeah, I had it here, so give me a minute to find it. Let me see if I wrote it down. Yes, 34-13. Tolman.
All right.
34-13. And Cranston West is getting a lot better. They gave Hendricken a scare tonight. Hendricken pulls it out 28-16, but they definitely gave Hendricken something to deal with tonight. So is the D1 teams, are they not maybe as good as people, NK and LaSalle, struggling, Westerly beating Central? Is there something to this, or
Maybe
it's just football?
I'm just talking, but maybe you got some of these D1 teams, maybe they rest on their laurels and they continuously use the same stuff that they've been using in the past because it's always worked, and they're not really changing a lot of their offensive schemes week to week. Maybe that could be it. Maybe teams are really starting to figure them out, or after you play these teams for so long, eventually you got to catch up, and I think teams are starting to catch up. I
definitely agree with that. And I think Coach Goodhart is 100% correct there. I think the other part of it as well is that whenever a team plays a Division I team, they're going to get their absolute best shot. There's no way that they're like, we have LaSalle. Let's not. They're playing up. All these teams that have these opportunities to play these top teams, they're going to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, including everything at them. So, these guys, as much as they are the Division I teams, those 4 teams there, it's all well and good. But, and if it was me, if I was a head coach, the first thing I would do is be like, okay, listen, we're doing everything possible. If they're really Division I, let's see how Division I they are. Right. I would do everything and anything at them. That's what these coaches are doing. And, I give them props for that because ultimately, I think Coach Goodhart's right. Like some of these Division I teams, and again, this is just an assumption here, but okay, we're the Division I team. We're going to go in, we're going to do our thing, and we're going to come out victorious. And that's not going to be the case because, again, like Coach said, teams eventually catch up. As much stuff is talked about these Division I teams, it's like what they put on their cleats just like everyone else does. So. I think that given these other these lower divisions an opportunity to play the top divisions, they're gonna give it their all, and that's what's happening right now. So much respect for Hendricken getting it done there, but it's not going to be an easy battle going forward with the rest of these teams. I can tell you that now. So,
right. I think there's a team they're on like a 103 game win streak in America right now. There's some ridiculous. And that was the motivation talking to the kids this week. It's like, hey, I know Lincoln's on a 4-game win streak, but you can't be at the top forever. And,
right.
some of these teams like Henriken, and you know they constantly win in this state. LaSalle usually wins in this state, but at some point, you know, other teams they're going to be doing all that extra work in the off season, and they're gonna have that freshman group that just came in, and it's just a stacked group, and that group is going to be juniors at some point and seniors, and at some point teams are just going to catch up. I mean, I understand that a lot of those schools, they get the top talent, but other schools, they're going to grow their kids. You're going to have those homegrown kids, and they're going to thrive at some point. And you know, it could be right now we're in that time frame where teams are just really starting to figure it out. Maybe a school like Henriken, I know they always have like really talented coaches. They got really good coaches there. I don't know if maybe, you know, they're getting ready to cycle to a new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. I know a lot of those schools, especially around the country, they always like kind of cycle guys through. I'm not sure. Yet again, like Emerson said, just like an observation.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, definitely. I had a couple plays that I downloaded real quick here. We'll put up real quick before I let Coach Dunbar go. These were some video I got at the Westerly Central game tonight.
1 yard line.
Oops, that wasn't too much.
1 yard line.
Well, anyway, don't their uniforms look good?
Is Stan in the waiting room right now?
Is what?
Is Stan in like the waiting room?
Oh my God, Stan came on earlier. He had the whole staff behind him. They went out to eat or something, and you know, he was ecstatic. You know, he called me up. Where's the link? Central lost. You're not doing a show tonight? You know, salute to yeah, he wanted to get on, and I'm glad he had the entire staff behind him. Salute to Danny Miranda, you know, Ronnie Spizzato, that whole staff for getting it done against Central. That was a big win because a lot of people was writing Westerly off.
No, that is a big win.
You know, yeah, definitely. You know, it says Middletown over Charahoe 14-2. So that's kind of something that
I picked Middletown for the record.
There you go. You know, I tell you what, every week has been competitive. He said for the record.
I had a rough couple of weeks, and you know, I had to get a win somewhere.
You know what? I definitely have to agree with this comment. Mount shut a lot of people up tonight. Absolutely beating East Providence. East Providence really has to. Like, I don't know what's going on over there, but of course, you know, you always hear, well, we made a lot of mistakes. Yeah, well, we got to fix mistakes. Well, yes, that's what happens when you lose. But I don't know what's going on with East Providence right now, but yeah, definitely Mount Pleasant put in 40 up on them. The first game of the year against Burrillville, they had 4 touchdowns called back. Emerson officiated that game. You know, so they can score points. They're a very good team. Good heart.
To me, they have
against them
kids in the whole state on their team. Israel Geraldo is an absolute specimen and a stud athlete. Like, he can break the game every single play. Like, he is that good. And you know, they got a quarterback. The kid, I think he's like an Alvarez kid or whatever. That kid, he's got a really good arm. They got talented kids. They always have talented kids. But Israel Geraldo I think he's probably one of the kids that is not talked about enough. And his numbers probably aren't going to pop because if you can stop him, you gotta double him. And that kid's just an absolute stud. So kudos to them.
Yeah, and even the Central quarterback, I think, has been playing great football. Javion King, I believe his name is. He's a senior. You know, I'm very impressed with him as well. But here, we're going to get to this video. I finally got it.
This will bring up 4th down.
Wow.
You know, and I don't know if like I didn't even put that up to challenge the call, but he was kind of close. But yeah, you know what? Both of them teams, that was the type of game you had all night long on both sides of the ball. So shout out to both of them staffs. I know I was I was talking shit about Central. Yeah, I was. All right. You know, but
At
but
least
I
you're
gotta
honest.
say, I was torn to even shout out to my guy Jamie V over there at Wesley, the athletic director. Definitely by now one of the better athletic directors in the game. He comes up to me and he said, I know you're torn down the middle. And he said, even though you went to Mount, I know how you city guys like to stick together and it's hard for you to get torn away, right? Because I'm kind of like in the middle of I'm like in the middle of both sides of the field. And I said, listen, I got my Central shorts on, I got my Westerly shirt on, and I got my breakthrough hat on. So I'm giving everybody love today. You know, but great game. I wouldn't have been upset if either side won that game. It was such a good football game, and games like that is why the game's played.
That's it.
Yeah, that's a
But
fact.
Coach Gary, thank you. Anything else you want to say before I let you go? Did I leave anything out?
No, just I want to say thanks for having me on, and yet again, thank you guys for what you're doing, and Emerson, thanks for the kind words.
Of course. Well deserved, my friend. Well deserved.
All right, definitely go check out a Coventry football game very soon. Gary, thank you.
Have a great night, guys.
All right,
Yeah.
that's Coach Goodhart up there, Coventry High School football coach. Been there a couple of years now. You know, really cares about the kids of the program. Emerson, you know, he's the type of coach that I think we need more of.
No, absolutely. I mean, he's really stepped on the scene and really has done his thing. I mean, you don't hear too many coaches talking about, Coventry, that's gonna be one of them easy games here, regardless of the situation. I mean, he's always managed to put together a really solid team and that competes. Obviously he has he does have a Super Bowl on his belt, and he has some solid teams over the years, and players that have moved on. So he's doing a really good job down there.
And I gotta say, and he definitely is hard on himself after a loss. Like he definitely takes all the punishment when he loses, and when he wins, it's all praise to his staff. So salute to him.
Yeah, he's a true definition of a head coach. Like he takes it all, and just tries to he tries to work with it. And when he wins, obviously, yes, he gives it to his assistant coaches. When he loses, he feels it's on him. And it is this is like it's a team effort with with the players. Also, team effort with the coach. Yes, ultimately all the decisions go through him, but there's not one great head coach that we could talk about that didn't have a great great assistants next to him. So but I definitely understand where he's coming from with that. But he's doing fine down there. The program's always been has been doing well under him, and I hope it continues to do so.
All right, Emerson, I'm just giving Coach Piver a minute, but while I do that, let me just rehash a couple scores, and then we'll just call it a night. Give me 1 second here. A lot of great football. Again, Westerly over Central, 21-20. SK beating Barrington, 35-26. Mount Pleasant putting it to, and the comment was right. Mount Pleasant maybe shut some people up tonight, 42-8. I think this might have been Coach Addison's first week back. So, welcome back, Coach. West Warwick over Rogers. West Warwick 5-0 right now, undefeated. But here he is. We're gonna bring Coach Piver in right now. Coach Piver, how you doing? Welcome to the show. What's going on? How was your game?
It was a rough one. We were pretty competitive for about 3 quarters, and the war of attrition kicked in, and we lost that war of attrition.
At least you're out there fighting every week. You're not really deep on a lot of kids, and that seems to be your problem. How do North Smithfield as a program get more kids interested?
It's tough. Like numbers wise, like we're just about where we need to be. I mean, we're routinely in the low 30s every day in practice, but I can't, in good conscience and good faith, use, I'd say, about 15 or 16 of those kids because they're freshmen and sophomore that have no business playing in a varsity game.
And with these new divisions, also they're much more competitive. They're much more bang bang. I'm not saying that Division 3 is the new 2. I'm not going to go down that road. But safety is a factor. Emerson, do you agree?
It's a good 2.5. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
So first of all, Coach, how you doing? I 100% agree with you when it comes down to, players that haven't played, the varsity game. That's 100% correct. I mean, it is about safety with them as much as honestly, I know obviously the coaching mentality, you want to kind of get them some reps and some experience for, obviously the end of the year and obviously into next year. But, safety is always the number one factor. As much as you want to win games and get them experience, a good coach knows when to say when. And it's very encouraging that you just said that because I know, honestly, there are some coaches like, just throw them in and see what happens, and that's when kids get hurt. So, much respect for you to have that mentality and do that.
I couldn't live with myself when I see guys not able to get up off the ground or, it's a mass unit going back to the bus. You just feel for the kids because I know, we're probably in a unique situation. We play about 13 or 14 kids. So my guys play specials and extra points and kickoff, kick return, defense, offense. They do it all. And, there's no rest for them. There's no break for them. And, it's tough. And when you see them not healthy when they come out of the game, hurts. It hurts because as the coach, you're the one putting them in that position.
Right.
And, there's nothing that we can necessarily do about it except, keep on working and understand that the kids that are out there playing because they want to be out there playing. And, they play hard. And that's why you'll never hear me be anything other than grateful for the effort that my guys give because I know physically what they're going through.
Right.
And it is what it is.
All right, absolutely. I'm gonna just run some scores down for you, Coach Piper. Westerly beat Central 21-20. Very, very good game. That's what football's all about.
That's
what
a
happened
fantastic
there.
game.
Absolutely. Mount Pleasant over East Providence 40-8. SK beating Barrington 35-26. Division 3, West Warwick. You said before the season started, you had a game against this team, and you said they were the real deal. What team was it?
West Warwick.
West Warwick, 5-0 right now.
If you go back and I know it was probably an anonymous thing, but if you go back and look at that Providence Journal thing from the beginning of the season where he wrote how many coaches picked certain teams to win the whole thing in Division 3, I think one coach in all Division 3 picked West Warwick, and I'll tell you what, I'm not coming off of it.
Well, I think Coach Penn realized today, and you can go back and watch his interview, he realized that why do we listen to Eric Rube?
When I read that article this morning and saw that he didn't pick West Warwick to win that game,
He was tough on Chase. I noticed he said something about DeAndre Chase.
I knew that that was going up on the bulletin board. So
absolutely. Salute to Coach Pennington doing a great job over there, and
absolutely.
He's got a wagon. He's got a really, really good team. And the thing with them is they're not going to be one dimensional. I know some of the things he's going to do and try to do. And he's got some players. He's not going to be one-dimensional. And that's going to be tough. They're going to be tough. They're going to be real tough, especially when this cold weather hits. That's going to be a tough team.
I know some people are not going to say this game was an upset. St. Ray's knocking off Cumberland 27-7, but I think in some sort of way was that game an upset.
Yes.
As good as Cumberland has been playing, averaging 35 points a game.
But like I told you a couple of weeks ago, and it didn't work out for me when I said it, in high school football, the best player, that team has a big advantage. And any time you have Moses Muse on your team, you've got a pretty good chance to win. And sometimes it's just about that. You just can't overcome the best player on the field if they're that much better than everybody else.
Yeah, so, LaSalle knocking off NK. Bishop Hendricken, Cranston West giving them a wake-up call. Bishop Hendricken 28-16. Cranston West is definitely coming around. Narragansett beat Pilgrim 34-18. Coventry falls to Lincoln 7-14. 3 losses in a row for Coventry. So there was definitely some good games. Middletown beat Charahoe 14-2. So
that just means we get a pissed off Coventry team next week. That doesn't.
Oh my God!
That doesn't help us.
No. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Salute to Coach Goodhart, Coach Private, Coach Pennington, Coach Dunbar, even Coach Washington tonight. You know what I mean? Even though he lost. Nah. That's my guy. Mike Washington knows that. I was kind of torn between, I told you the story. But Coach Piva, man, thank you. Win or lose, you're always willing to come on. Salute to you guys. Salute to your whole program.
I appreciate it. No, I appreciate it. And the kids are playing hard, and we'll put the Band-Aids on and the ice packs and go back to work on Tuesday, and we'll see what we got, and we'll show up next Friday and put our best foot forward. That's what we can do. And, it's, if we can teach our kids to do that, it's going to serve them well moving forward, because they're going to get punched in the mouth in life. They're going to get knocked around in their jobs and in their college careers and in the classroom and all that other stuff. So they gotta learn, and why not start learning now that not everything's easy, and if you want something bad enough, you got to work for it.
Absolutely, Coach. All right, thank you, appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, good night. Have a good weekend, guys.
Good night.
Well, Emerson, another great week, man. I thank you for joining me every week after these games. Any last words?
I gotta say, a couple of things. South Kingston, their stock is rising here. They've had a couple impressive victories over the past couple of weeks here. So, I think that the South Kingston Rebels are going to be a force to reckon with as we start turning into the last couple of weeks of the season here. So, much respect to them, doing their thing down there. And I gotta say, when you said that St. Ray's and Cumberland was an upset, I believe it is, because St. Ray's is, they've been a little down the past couple of weeks. But one thing about St. Ray's, you can't count them out. And it's not just about Moses Muse. It's not just about him. Okay, obviously he's a great player, and he does well for the team. But that was a team win. That was and again, they've kind of had their ups and downs here. I know they lost to East Providence, and now they've beaten Cumberland. So, it kind of goes to show you again where the eyes of the state are in terms of football. Like it's really kind of Division II and Division III are really kind of showing out here. It's really good to see, and I'm definitely glad to hear that Coach Pennington's 5-0, and they're definitely a multi-dimensional team, and shout out to him for getting through this far undefeated. And there's gonna be some good football being played here. I'm interested to see some more matchups and how things go. I have the game tomorrow, Classical versus Tollgate, so we'll see how that goes. But as the season grinds on, man, like there's really good football being played right now, and it's going to continue to do so throughout the season here. So, again, I'm excited to be a part of it in every way possible, both obviously being an official and on this platform. And again, Mike, as everyone always says, and I know I work with you, I just thank you for having this platform and having this opportunity to really showcase what Rhode Island football is all about.
Well, thank you, Emerson. It's because I have great people like you, great coaches like Dunbar, Mike Washington, Blake Simpson, so many great coaches, Coach Piva, Goodhart, that make this possible. Some great parents out there, Bernard Parsons, some great athletics. There's so many great people. I got so much love today at that Westerly Central game. Central players coming up to me. Oh, it's the podcast dude. It's the podcast guy. You know what I mean?
I don't even know your name. There's a podcast guy. Hey, that's cool.
Yeah,
hey,
yo.
That's good.
There's a podcast guy, I actually had a parent that was on inside defense lines, and the AD came up to him, and he was questioning him, what are you doing inside here? And then the AD said, just say you're here with Mike. That's all you got to say. And I said, so yeah, he's here with me. And but so many great people, and I'm glad to be part of this community. And it's a great community. And I know I may talk some shit and talk about some negative things, but sometimes these things have to be talked about. And I'm sorry that I have to do it, but no one else is going to do it.
Right. And honestly, I mean, it's better off someone like yourself is doing it, because honestly, you're bringing it to the forefront. Okay, this is how it is. This is what we've heard so far. And folks can start making decisions on their own and kind of going about it that way instead of kind of slanting it one way or the other. So,
no, that's a fact,
So I think, again, this platform does, serve that purpose. And, just getting, just letting folks know about Rhode Island football. I mean, it's been needed for so long. And I'm so glad that other coaches are, and others in general, just, really reaching out and really making this possible. It really is a good thing. And like I said, I'm glad to be a part of it. And I'm glad this is going to continue for years to come here. So, Mike, I got to run because it's 11 o'clock.
All I'll say is, remember a few months ago when Shoddy said, you got to let us in the building, we're kicking the door down? Well, you got to let us in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we coming, we're kicking the door down, and you all are appreciated. Emerson, all right, thank you. Have a good one. Get out to 401 Strength and Fitness.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Not for the pancakes, so get out to 401 Strength and Fitness. All right, Emerson, have a good one.
You too.
Appreciate Emerson. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate all you guys, man. Big games today. SK, no SK slander. Salute to SK, man, getting it done. Everybody's sleeping on SK all year long. What a great game. Coach Dunbar was like loving it today. He had his whole staff behind him. I was liking to vibe, you know what I'm saying? I was liking the feeling, but I appreciate everybody. We'll leave you with this touchdown or short.
This will bring up 4th down.
Mikey does. Sometimes I'm like, yo, you over the edge, TMZ with it. But
the boy gonna do you something nasty.
I hate to say it, more times than not, he get the results he wants.
Right, and to
that's
be honest with
because-
you, I honestly don't think it's over. Honestly, I think exactly what this state needs. We've always needed a platform where we can call out the nonsense,
The repercussions.
and give people the props that they deserve, and call out the people who are full of it. And honestly, I think that more and more people are starting to utilize Mike's platform for that. And honestly, I know a lot of folks. A lot of people talk to me, "Oh, Emerson, like you're on there and you talk this and you talk that," and I'm like, "Listen," I said, name one thing that he's been wrong about. And then there's silence.